Who are Miss Radish's playmates? Where did garlic come from? And what is Miss Eggplant puzzled about? Hi, and welcome back to the Land of Illustrated Stories. I'm Bianca Gulia, and today I will read Mother Earth, Costumes and Rhymes, which will give us the answers to those questions. Before we start, I want to tell you about the little owl that's in the top right corner of your screen. When you see it jump up and down during certain rhymes, it's because I didn't understand those rhymes when I first read them. Once I researched them, I came across some stories that made the rhymes more fun, and I made a separate video for those stories, which you can watch later if you want. It's linked in the description. Now let's get started. Little Miss Radish, pretty thing, has her birthday in the spring. She and little onions play in the garden the whole day. When Orchard Oriole sings his song, the rhubarb children troop along. They're hardy, healthy youngsters too, and stay the whole long summer through. Said lettuce tender-hearted lass, "Come, Dandelion, neath my glass." But Dandelion smiled and said she liked the nice fresh air instead. Said Spanish Onion, "I don't see why people cry at sight of me. I am a nice and friendly chappy, and like to make everyone happy." The button mushrooms went to play with the small puffballs one bright day. They had such heaps of glorious fun, but all ran home at set of sun. Asparagus in early spring came up to hear the robins sing. When she peeped out, her dress was white, but soon turned green in sunshine bright. The green pea children went to sail across the oceans in a gale. "This boat's a shell," they cried. "Dear me, we might capsize in this deep sea." Said Spinach, "In my dress of green, I'm just as happy as a queen. I come around in early spring and don't mind the colder wind." Little Wild Strawberry came down to visit with her folks in town. She's a sweet child with charming ways and blushes modestly at praise. Said Endive, "I was born in France, but travel when I get a chance." Said Celery, "I travel too. My hometown is Kalamazoo." The Carrot ladies love to go to dinner and an evening show, and tall or short, each lady fair wears a green feather in her hair. Pearl Onion, tiny little thing, lives outdoors from early spring. She's German, so I understand, and dearly loves her fatherland. The dainty little watercresses, in their pretty bathing dresses, like water fairies, splash and play in the cool brooklet the whole day. "Cherries are ripe," said Old Blue Jay as he flew by one August day. "Why, he means us," the cherries cried. "Perhaps we'd better go inside." When Gooseberry wears a gown of green, she cries and pouts and makes a scene, but when her gown's a purplish hue, she never disagrees with you. The string beans love to climb a pole, and so their clothes are seldom whole. Mother Bean said, "I'll mend the tatters. While they're happy, nothing matters." Said Mom Potato, "Hurry, Pat, please wash your face and feed the cat. Then run to school or you'll be late. Just see, it's nearly 8:30. "Good morning, friends. Know who I am? I'm Raspberry who makes the jam. You know that on the pantry shelf. I make that every year myself." White Turnip said, "I'm pale, I know, and all our family are so." "Then I advise," said Old White Beet, "to play outside a little bit." Red Pepper said an angry word, which Miss Green Pepper overheard. Said she, "Hot words you can't recall. Better not say such things at all." Said Miss Cucumber, "I have brought my fan because the day is hot. Our family have a splendid rule. Whatever happens, we keep cool." Miss Parsley raised her plumy head and in her pretty manner said, "When I go out to dine somewhere, this is my favorite dress to wear." Gumbo's a splendid southern cook, and without looking in the book, he'll make a savory soup or stew and send it steaming hot to you. Blueberry children love to run around the hillsides in the sun, smiling and jolly, playful and sweet, best-natured youngsters one could meet. "Everyone knows," said Madam Beet, "my disposition's very sweet, and whether I'm cold or cozy, my cheeks stay always nice and rosy." "My new spring dress," said Hickory, "is just as lacy as can be, shading from green to purest white, its ruffles are my heart's delight." "You know what figs are, but you know the special way they start to grow? Just a small bud upon the bough, no flower at all. That's clever now." The pretty little lady's rice you'll always turn to look at twice. They came from Asia long ago, and now they're everywhere you go. The current ladies look so sweet in their green dresses, cool and neat. They offer you for your delight their strings of berries red and white. "Do you like my costume?" Brussels sprout said, "or should I wear something red?" Horseradish said, "I like the green. In fact, I'll use some for my trim." Said Rutabaga Turnip, "Wow! I've just escaped that hungry cow. I jumped behind a great big tree, or she'd have surely eaten me." Blackberries love to jump and run and play beneath the August sun, until each little maid and man takes on a friendly coat of tan. Carrageen makes his bow to you. He's a sea child, that is true, but he's so jolly, never cross. His other name is Irish Moss. "The creature they named after me," said Oyster Plant, "lives in the sea. I'm very sure I could not sleep, rocked in the cradle of the deep." "I'm here to tell you a good joke about the plant called artichoke. Most those who for the first time see it have to ask others how to eat it." Lady Muskmelon laughed and said, "Those children will not stay in bed. Before the darlings get misplaced, I'll tie each baby to my waist." Watermelon's dress of green, trimmed in rose pink, you all have seen. He has such pleasant smiling ways, and loves the bright hot summer days. Olive is a sweet Italian maid. Her gown is green, a lovely shade. At first she is a little shy, but she will charm you by and by. The Mustard sisters are so tall, they can see right over the wall. So when they go to play outside, they know who's on the other side. Said Cauliflower, "I run about looking for Cabbage and Brussels sprout. We are good friends, and in nice weather we like to play outside together." Hand in hand with summer comes the happy family called Plums. Some dressed in purple, some in red. They are very pretty and well bred. Said Garlic, "My home used to be in far-off sunny Sicily, but now I travel round the world, even to places very cold." Yam really is a pretty fellow, though his complexion's rather yellow. When winter comes, he packs his grip and travels north for a short trip. Said Little Purple Eggplant, "Well, so that is egg in that white shell. Really, it's very hard to see why they named that chap after me." Vegetable Marrow liked to tell how he was once an English swell. Summer Squash laughed and said, "My word, that's quite the best thing I have heard." Said Hubbard Squash, "All summer long I'm on the farm where I belong, but in the fall for change of air I go to see the county fair." Said busy bustling Mrs. Quince, "I have no spare moments since the jelly making time is here. We're making such a lot this year." Said Mother Pear, "Those cute twins are just as much alike as pins. I must do something, I declare." So she cut little sister's hair. Banana wears a yellow coat, buttoned quite snugly round his throat. He comes from where it's warm, you see, and feels cold more than you or me. Here's a dear fellow named Cashew, provides you nuts and apples too, oil and wine and other things this busy young Brazilian brings. A foreign lady of renown, Pomegranate in her crimson gown, smiling and nodding as she goes, looks like an oriental rose. Miss Sugarcane is kind and sweet and loves to bake good things to eat. She gives us sugar nice and white and syrup to make things taste right. Her burgomaster Cabbage said, "My little dog, you need some bread." Frau Cabbage smiled, "Just help yourself. A fresh loaf's on the pantry shelf." Of all the fruits under the sun, apple's the most famous one. He's loved by all, both young and old. Some say he's worth his weight in gold. Pineapple's dress has many eyes. You cannot take him by surprise. He's full of sunshine through and through and always has a treat for you. Miss Coffee said, "I sure must study and find why my complexion's muddy. Perhaps it's only 10. You know, I do run out bareheaded so." Mr. Green Tea comes from Japan. He's such a happy, friendly man. He says, "This tea tastes very nice. Will you have sugar, milk, or ice?" Barley's a bearded gentleman. He wears a suit of golden tan. Though he has homes both east and west, he loves the prairie lands the best. Said Scotch Oat, "I really don't care for fancy dinners anywhere. A bowl of porridge and some tea at home are good enough for me." "I'm very glad," said Caraway, "I'm off from school Thanksgiving Day. That's a good thing too, 'cause you see, they can't make cookies without me." "Our family's not hard to suit," said Mrs. Peach. "We're simple fruit. We like most any kind of weather if the sun shines and we're together. The costume that I wear, you see, is for a nut called Hickory. Hickory trees are strong and hard and sometimes like to shed their bark." Said Cactus, "On the desert wild, I often was a prickly child, but then I went to Burbank School and learned about the Golden Rule. Brazil nuts grow in trees that are some of the oldest trees by far. I heard of one that grew to be as old as 1003. Dear Coconut is such a friendly fellow. His hair is brown, his voice is mellow. He's always busy selling milk while Mrs. Coconut makes silk." Said Mrs. Peanut in a flutter, "I quite forgot to salt the butter." The children laughed and all together said, "No worries, Mama, we'll just salt the bread." Said Chestnut, "When I'm in my tree, my coat is green and a bit prickly, but when it's fall and I come down, my coat is beautiful rich brown." Persimmon said, "I'm up so high, I can reach out and touch the sky." The Possum said, "Don't reach too far, you might put out a shining star." Said Mr. Gourd, "You'll plainly see I'm busy as busy can be. I like to make all sorts of things, like curly vines for playtime rings." Little wise, home-loving Truffle never lets her temper ruffle. Her home is just beneath the ground, and there she often may be found. Wild Grape just loves to run away and in the green woods climb and play. You'll know him when among the trees his fragrant blossoms scent the breeze. Though Miss Grapefruit is very young, her praises are on every tongue, and though she travels everywhere, she has such sweet and modest air. The Lemons every summer go in groups to see the Wild West show. Come rain or shine, they never stay at home on any circus day. Miss Cotton is a fairy queen in her white dress all trimmed with green. To other children everywhere, she sends such pretty clothes to wear. Miss Orange said, "I'd like to know those pretty mountain girls called Snow." "Don't," said her dad, "or we are lost, the relatives of Sir Jack Frost." Miss Beechnut wears a pretty bonnet with little fuzzy feathers on it. She's very sweet and always good, Her home is in the deep wild wood. "I work," said genial Mrs. Wheat, "to give the world enough to eat. I'm always happy when there's bread, enough so every child is fed." Citron is kind, playful, and round, and likes to roll upon the ground. Come rain or shine, he's always happy, a nice contented little chappy. Cranberry dearly loves to go, wading in places wet and low. She wears soft gowns of dainty floss made of the pretty yellow moss. Dressed up in shades of golden yellow, Mr. Corn's a handsome fellow. He and Mrs. Corn enchant with all their stories about this land. North Wind came whistling by one day where the tomatoes were at play. It gave those little plants such fright, they put their blankets on that night. The Nutmeg children ran away to tease the cook on baking day. Said Mother Nutmeg in surprise, "Why, who'll spice the custard pies?" The Pumpkin children, every one, on Halloween go out for fun. With Jack-o'-lantern and his crew, they find such jolly things to do. When Jack Frost said, "Now, children all, go in before the snowflakes fall," Parsnip declared he liked the snow to cover him, and didn't go. Sir English Walnut nods his head and says he's an aristocrat. His family is very old. They lived in Bible times, we're told. Dressed up in their costumes white, the popcorn make a lovely sight. But they're doing something wrong, I say. They shouldn't so close to the fire play. The oddest plant, when all is said, of those we've met is St. John's bread. It isn't bread at all, you see. Its common name is carob tree. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and if you have any suggestions on how I could make this kind of videos better, I hope you leave them in the comments below. I wish you a wonderful day, and I hope to see you again next week for a new reading.